What's up guys, welcome back to a new video on the channel. My name's XXFaze Slasher Fortnite Killer. I'm kidding. Hey guys, welcome back to a new video on the channel. My name's Jack, I'm a freelance videographer, photographer and video editor, helping you take your video editing and your videography, calm down there, like, to the next level. So if that's something you're interested in, stay tuned and subscribe to the channel. Check out some of my other videos. And if you want to help the production of future content, go buy me a coffee, link in the description. So, I've got my little notes here. So this video, I don't know what I'm going to title this video. This video is going to be helping you get into freelance videography because it is tough, right? So, I've got my notes here. I'm going to break it down on how I got started and what I've learned through like 3 or 4 years of being a freelancer. So, let's jump straight into this. Number one, I get asked this all the time. What equipment do you need? Now I'm just going to be straight up with you guys. No matter what kind of like videography you want to get into, get a basic DSLR. Even do it on your phone to start with. You don't need all these flashy, I'm stuck by somewhere. You don't need all of these flashy DSLRs, mirrorless cameras, Black Magic, fucking Osmo Pocket. You don't need all of these like 10 grand cameras, even 5 or 1 grand. Get yourself a basic DSLR if you can afford it for like, I don't know, like 500, 200 quid. My first DSLR was like £200, like package. I was shooting videos on the basic kit lens for like ages, and then I got myself a zoom lens for the type of videography that I was doing. But you don't need all of these fancy equipment. If you have like an iPhone 13, that is better than the basic DSLRs that you have nowadays. Like, it's just crazy. If you have an up-to-date camera that is an iPhone, because I can't speak for Android because I haven't seen, or Google, I can't speak for any of those because I haven't seen them, but the iPhones, the up-to-date iPhones, even going back like 2, 3, they are magnificent. The quality on those iPhones, it's scary, the amount of, the technology, the iPhone technology, the phone technology is catching up with the cameras. I'm about to be put out of business by a phone. Anyway, just start. You don't need all this flashy equipment, guys. I'm telling you, from my own personal experience, I started off with a DSLR, a bottom of the line amateur DSLR. And before I even got my first DSLR, I was using my dad's DSLR and I was using my college's DSLR. But when I got started in videography, I was in college. I was using my college DSLRs and they were basic as well. You don't need these fancy cameras, guys. Stop trying to like save up your money to buy this camera. There's a saying that goes around in videography and photography and like in the cinema community. A good videographer dates the camera body, marries the lens, but goes on a honeymoon with the lighting. Let me just show you, right? This is lighting. Like, I'm shooting on a good camera, but let me show you the quality that the lights make. Like, look, you see the difference? Lighting is everything in this game, but depending on what kind of videography you're going to get into, it will affect what camera you buy. But for the equipment, just go with the basics. If you can't afford like a basic DSLR for a couple £100, start with your phone. I started on my phone. I was shooting vlogs from my dad when I was little on my phone. I wasn't using these DSLRs. I wasn't doing all of this club stuff, promotional video, corporate stuff. I was shooting vlogs for my dad on my iPhone and editing them in iMovie. You don't need all of this fancy equipment, guys. So with that out of the way, number 2, what type of videography are you wanting to do? So before you get started, kind of understand what kind of videography you want to get into, because there's so many. You've got corporate, you've got product reviews, you've got your live event videography, you've got wedding videography, and you've got all types of videography. Understand what kind of videography you want to get into. The way I just started, just going with the flow. I started off with doing, like YouTube videos from when I was a child. I was doing, YouTube videos. I went through quite a lot of tough stuff in my life when I was a kid. I hadn't seen my mum for quite a long time, and my parents split up. I was doing a couple of videos here and there about, like I was probably like 7, 8, 9 at the time, and I was doing some YouTube videos explaining, helping kids my age, who might be going through the same thing. But parents being split up, you identify what kind of videography you want to get into, and the way I got into that is I then went, and my dad was a public speaker at the time, and I got into kind of like doing his events for him, you know, videography, photography, you know, the odd job here and there for him. And that ultimately transitioned into, you know, what I'm doing now: club videos, promotional videos, freelance video editing. That'll be another video in the future. But you know, I didn't start out kind of, you know, doing all these fancy club promo videos or nothing like that. So understand, you know, identify what kind of videography you want to do, but on the flip side of that, don't narrow yourself to one videography. Don't rabbit hole yourself into one type, because if you do that, you're going to get bored of it. I've seen it countless and countless times before of freelance or even just videographers in general getting bored of their craft, and then because they haven't got like a diverse not even a diverse portfolio that covers quite a lot of, not a lot, but different ranges of videography, they're stuck doing wedding videography or club videography, and they get bored of it after a couple of years, and then they have to transition and charge, you know, bottom of the line prices because they don't have the portfolio to get into the new type of videography that they want to do. So get a diverse portfolio, but understand what kind of videography you want to be doing long term, what you enjoy. So the second one, getting into the industry. As I said, this kind of like links onto the other two that I was saying. Get into the industry, do work for free. Like, the best tip I can give you, do work for free. Not like some of you are going to be out there, you know, ranting in the comments, oh, pay creatives for their time. No, you are not entitled, right, to a couple of £100 to £1,000 for a shoot. You don't have the portfolio, you don't have the experience, and you probably most likely don't have the equipment needed. You know, for that's worth £200, £300, £400 worth of work. Do work for free. Experience and on set, like being on the job, is the best value. Like, it's the most valuable type of experience. You know, you can go to university, you can go to college, you can go to film school, you can learn all of this stuff in the classroom, but the best type of work you can get is in field. I can't stress that enough, guys. Do work for free, right? Just shut your mouth and do work for free. That's how I got started. You know, I was getting, even if you don't do work for free, like bottom like 50 quid for a shoot, like no matter what it is. Like I've been doing this for a long time. I've been breaking into the club scene at the moment. I was doing the first like 3, 4, 5 club videos for free. You know, like you have to do work for free in order to get the portfolio and the necessary connections to build a sustainable lifestyle and living off of this. But if you're breaking into the industry, set up your social medias and your portfolio as well. There'll be another video diving into the portfolio side of things. This is what I would do: set up your Instagram, set up a YouTube channel, set up a website, and you can make a basic website. Don't give me none of that, oh, I can't make a website bullshit. You can. If you're into video production, you're somewhat techie savage, so set up a free website on like Wix or Weebly, and then set up an Instagram. I think I said an Instagram, but set up your social medias, because that's going to be another way they can get clients in the future. So that's what I would do: get into the industry, and the free work that you do, or the really cheap work that you might be doing, post that on your portfolio and your social medias, so you can start getting exposure online, because SEO is probably one of the most powerful things you can do as a freelance videographer nowadays. So many people sleep on it, and I don't know why they still sleep on it. But even post it on TikTok. Like I've been doing some TikTok videos, and some of my TikToks are blown up. I'm also into anime. I do anime edits, so it's, you know, a fun thing to do on TikTok, and some of them are blown up with 200k, 300k views on some of them. So really, you know, do work for free in order to break into the industry, because no one's going to want to hire someone without a portfolio. Portfolio in this industry is everything. And that links me on to the truth about freelance videography. The truth is, you know, I see so many people out here in the videography space and photography space and freelance space saying that it's easy. No, it's not. You're going to have no's. People are going to reject you all the time. You're going to get left on red. People are just going to say, no, I've got someone cheaper. You know, they're going to undercut you, and people are just going to ignore you. You know, this is not an easy industry to get into. So if you want to get into this industry, you know, be prepared to face a lot, and I mean a lot of rejection. It is a hard industry to get into, but if you are committed, right, if you really want to have this life, you can have it, but it's going to take a lot of work. It's going to take a lot of eating shit for the first like 3, 4, 6, even to a year like of your career. Like, I've been doing work for free for the past, like, or even minimal pay for like the past 2 years of my actual business now, but I've gone into this kind of like full time, I guess you could say, over the last 6 months, and I've been doing stuff for free because I didn't have the portfolio needed for that specific type of, you know, videography work. So it's going to take a lot of hustling, it's going to take a lot of work, and it's going to take a lot of, you know, rejection in order for you to start snowballing and getting some work that you actually want to do, to put yourself in a position of power. Think about like a video game, right? Similar to even might be into anime, Sword Art Online. When Kirito went into Sword Art Online, he was level 1 fighting slimes, right? In any video game, you're going to be fighting level 1 bosses. You might think of it like a tier system. Level 1, you're level 0. You then progress to level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then beyond, right? So some of you are trying to get level 10 clients, like really high-end clients, but you're only level 1, you're level 2, you know, you don't have the portfolio or the skills or the experience needed in order to, you know, get hired by that. So start off by doing easy small gigs, get used to the industry, the type of videography industry that you want to get into. I personally went into live events. It really helped with my confidence. I can vouch for live events. I love live events. You know, I've done award ceremonies, I've done corporate, I've done live venues like, you know, bands, drum and bass nights, club videos, and all that sort of stuff, you know. But start off with the smaller giants, I guess, the smaller stuff in your industry that you want to get into. So that's kind of like the truth a little bit, you know. I'm just going to be out here. You're not going to make a lot of money the first like couple of months to a year of your freelance career, you know. You have to build up your portfolio and really understand what it takes to make that type of video. So I guess that's kind of like the truth that not a lot of people talk about into videography. So how to deal with rejection. Now, I touched on that in all these points kind of like linked together. The previous point that I made, you know, you are going to get a lot of rejection, but don't let that dissuade you. So many people face like 2, 3, 4 no's. Say, like, might be DMing people, cold emailing, or DMing people, or ringing them up. You know, I'm a freelance videographer, this is my portfolio. If you want to hire me, or something like that. And so many people get the panties in a twist when someone says no. Like, okay, move on. Like, I know you know, I still do this to this day. I still kind of like, you know, get into my head a little bit. You know, when a shoot doesn't go right or something like that, it does affect your confidence. But you know, that's life. Like, you just have to keep going. You have to keep going. You know, this isn't a free. You're not guaranteed a paycheck at the end of the month. That's one thing that a 9 to 5 does. That kind of like separates the freelance industry from what we do. It's up to you if you're going to eat at the end of the day. It's up to you if you have a roof over your head. You know, no one's giving you a paycheck. You know, that's the thing with the system, the matrix. Like, you're not going to have a paycheck. You have to have. It's up to you basically if you want to get paid, right? So if you're going to let a no, like 1 or 2 no's, stop you from DMing and getting even more work, I'm sorry, but this industry is not for you. Like, it is a rough industry starting out, and it gets easier as you know, you get contacts, you get networking, but at the start it is real difficult, and you have to have thick skin to deal with rejection and no's, because you're going to face a lot of them when you're a young pup in the freelance industry. But as you grow, you experience less and less no's, because you gain the skill set, you get the craft, you understand the craft, you get the experience, you have the better equipment, and people are going to take you more seriously once you've got yourself set up. But when you're starting out, you're going to face a lot of no's and rejections. So just push through it, man. Like, just have a vision for what you want to do, and just keep going. And watch like my videos, and watch like other people's videos for advice. Like, you can DM me on Instagram. There's my Instagram. You can DM my personal Instagram, and I'll give you some advice from my own personal experience from running my own freelance business for the past like 2 years. So obviously COVID hit, but stuff like that. So, you know, utilize your resources. You know, this isn't an easy industry. You know, you're going to face a lot of rejection, so just push through it and keep going. That's what basically everyone that's, you know, made something in the freelance industry has done. You are going to experience a lot of no's, so get thick skin and just keep going, man. Like, just keep going. So my next point: when should you start to charge? You know, when should you raise your prices? I guess you should start raising your prices or start charging when you get work coming to you. So I mean, it's kind of different when you start charging. If you want to charge like a little cheaper price, I would say once you've done like 3, 4, 5 gigs, or you've got like 4 or 5 videos under your belt, you can then edit that into a show reel. Start charging like a baseline price, like £50 or £100 for the shoot or something like that. But be very careful for undercutters, because that's one thing I've become to realise, is that people are selfish, right? Humans are selfish creatures. If a client or a business can get a cheaper price somewhere else, they will. Well, I made a little meme, so I'll put a meme on. When the client says something like, when the client says they found someone cheaper or something, but do you know your worth? Understand, like, that's not the client that you're looking for. If they're willing to downgrade the type of video production that they want, that's down to them. They're not going to get the same quality. No, your prices reflect who you are. If you're overpricing yourself, obviously that's wrong. But if you're underpricing yourself, you've got to know your worth. And if you've got your prices right, people are going to take you. You know, you're going to have less undercuts, or you're going to start attracting the people that aren't kind of like sly, shady people who just undercut you all the time. But I guess it's kind of I got off topic a little bit. Kind of going back to that's when you should start charging. You know, when you get about 3, 4, 5 videos under your belt and you can edit into a show reel. When should you start upping your prices? That kind of goes to when you've got a good portfolio, and you know, people say, oh I love that portfolio, something like that. You know, when people comment on your work, that's really good. And that's not your mum or dad, by the way. That's people in the industry. That's client feedback. That's the market telling you that you are what your worth is, because you think you're worth like £100, but the market says you're only worth £5. Like, there's a big difference. So listen to the market, understand what your clients are saying to you. You know, if they love the work, cool. Do a couple more of them and then up your price a little bit. So say you charge £50, up your price is £60, £70 for the shoot. Slowly but surely, gradually increase your price as you get more and more work. The more work you get, the more experience you get, you level up, like the analogy that I did before. And a market, I would say, is when you get work coming to you. You know, you're not that huntsman with the spear going killing the gazelle. The gazelle's coming to you. So once you start getting work coming to you, that means that you know you have value in the market. So I would say then you should. That's a good indication to up your prices. That's kind of what I kind of base my prices off of. So next point, how to fund this endeavour. So there's a couple of different ways you can fund this endeavour. If you're younger and you're still living with your parents, that's the perfect time to get started. I kind of like started my YouTube channel, my hustle, my online freelance video editing career, I guess you could say, when I was still living with my parents. That's the first way. You know, overheads, you don't basically have no overheads. You know, you're still at your parents. You're maybe 16, 17, maybe 18 years old, maybe a little bit older. But that's the perfect time to start. But if you're like me, you've moved out of your parents, you know, living on your own with a couple of roommates or something like that, go to university. Like, this one for me was quite a shock, because I wasn't going to go to university, but I've been here for about 6 months now, 6-7 months, and I've come to realise, you know, my overheads are paid for by my student loan. And a little touch on the student loan. If you're not in the UK, this doesn't apply to you, but if you're from England, it's not like the traditional debt, it's just extra tax. Look up Martin Lewis if you want to understand student debt, but it's basically extra tax. Go to university. I would say, if you're serious about getting your business off the ground, go to university and use your student loan to pay off your overheads. That's what I'm doing right now. You know, my university, I've got my loan that I've got a little, I guess, wage that I pay myself from a student loan. You know, my rent paid for, my food's paid for, my entertainment's paid for. You know, and then I can put all the money that I gather from a business back into my business and future investments to property or something like that. So that's another way that a lot of people don't really talk about is the student loan. You know, you can use your student loan to build your business or invest in something. I guess like another way is crowdfunding. Now, I personally haven't done any crowdfunding, or like the thing that I came across recently, the Prince Trust or something like that. If you're from like a poor background or something, you could possibly get funding from the government or like a charity or something like that. You could apply for a grant, that's another way. They're just some kind of like ways that no one kind of really talks about, but the main way is, if you're out of your parents, is obviously 9 to 5, like a part-time job. Use that to pay for your overheads, your food, your water, your gas, electric, that sort of stuff. But on the side, start your freelance career, and then once you get to the point where you can start making a living off your side hustle, that becomes your main job. So that's how to fund, you know, your first year or so or something in the freelance industry, you know, as you start to up your value, your market value to get more work, basically, to get those higher paying jobs. And that's just being, you know, kind of how to get started in the freelance industry. I'm gonna have a part 2 to this about, you know, once you've got yourself established in the freelance industry, mainly about social media and how to keep clients and get more clients, because you can get clients, but if you don't have regular clients, if you don't have long-term clients, you're just going to be doing one project or the other. That's not how you build a sustainable income. The way you build sustainable income is by having recurring clients, and I'm going to go over that in the second part. So there's going to be a second part to this. Is part 1, there's going to be a part 2. But this has just been the beginner's guide, I guess you could say, to getting started as a freelance videographer. So if you guys already see here, subscribe to the channel, make sure to check out some other videos, stay tuned for future content. So if you want to donate to the channel, help the production of future content, go buy me a coffee, link in the description. This has been Jack, and I'll see you on the next video, guys. Stay tuned for part 2.